how many it is, but okay, here we go. We're going to go through this together, finish this sheet and the other sheet. So this one, it actually starts with where we were yesterday. All right, so it's a little bit review. If you have your other page, you can look at it. All real numbers that are greater than -7 and less than 7. Okay, so we did this one yesterday. I hope they can hear me on this. So, all real numbers, what variable do y'all want me to use? X. Okay, and it's got the word and, so I can write it in between those two numbers. Which number is smaller? -7. So it goes over here on the left, and the other number that's bigger was which number? 7. So it goes over here on the right. Is everybody good with setting that up? Smaller number, bigger number. Here's your variable. This is how you do an and. So then it says they are greater than -7. So if I'm looking right here, this right here says x is greater than -7. And remember, when we write them this way, our inequality should always point that direction. Less than 7, how do I write that? Between my x and my 7, I put the less than sign. They always point the same direction. Any questions on how I wrote that? Yes, no, we're good with that? Okay, then it tells me to graph it. So I'm graphing what two numbers on my number line? -7 and 7. So I'll draw it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll just do that. I'll put some other numbers in here. Okay, what kind of circles around the -7 and the 7? Open, because they are not equal to. So I'm going to put an open circle and an open circle. And since x is between those two numbers, where am I going to kind of shade my line? In between those two numbers. So that's kind of what I would be looking for. Okay? Are we good with that? Yes? It's a lot like, that one's just like one we did yesterday, isn't it? Yeah. I'll leave that up there for a second. Make sure everybody has it. So, does anybody need their paper back from yesterday as we go through these? Yes, no? We're good? So there's some that may be on your paper kind of like that. Shay, this may help you. Like if you have your other paper out, there's several on there like this, okay? Question? Or not several, maybe one or two.
-7's going that way and +7's going that way?
Yeah. And the way I think of it is I just say, hey, x is between those two numbers, so I'm shading between those two numbers. Okay? That's how you do the one with the word and. Did you see one on your paper like that from yesterday? Okay. Are we ready for number 2? Yes. Hope y'all were done. Let me move this up. Now, number 2 has the word or. So see, they write it using the word or. And all you're going to do is just see what way they're pointing. So it says all real numbers n that are less than -6. So I'm looking for one, here's my 4 answers, that has n is less than -6. Or, what's my other one? N is what? Greater than 18. So first of all, I'm looking for answers that are written like that. I know I'm kind of yelling. I just want them to hear me on the video. Sorry. So, n is less than -6 or greater than 18. That one looks possible. That one does not. Oh, that one does not look possible either because it has the what kind of sign?
Greater than.
It has the equal to on there. Okay, and then this one's not right because that's how you write an and. So it looks like it's going to be A, but let's make sure and check the graph. Does this say less than -6? Open circle, going that way. Yes, it does. What about the one with the 18? It's an open circle and going that way. So that one looks right. Okay? Are we good with that? Yes? So Shay, there was something on your paper like that yesterday as well. Okay? So nothing new so far for today's. Okay, this one, I think Mason, you had a question on this one. So do you still have your paper from yesterday? It may help you. What number was that? Like 5 or 6? I don't know. It's the one that had the at most and the
Number 5.
number 5. Okay, so this is a lot like that one. Shape, it's like number 5 on that paper. The second sheet. So it says all real numbers. What does yours have the word or in it or and? Yours has the word and, so it's actually a little bit different. This one has the word or. And I think this is kind of where today's lesson changes. So I might do one like yours in just a second. This has the word or. So it says all real numbers that are at most -8. So let me write that. All real numbers at most -8. What is at most? What kind of sign is that? So here's my -8. It's less than or equal to -8. That's for at most. Okay? You can't go above that. That's the most that it could be. Up to that. So it's less than that. Or, so when I have the word or, I actually write that one. Or, and now let's write the other inequality. X is at least 6. So what's at least? At least is greater than or equal to. So that's the sign for at most. And that's the sign for at least. Okay? And again, remember that this is an or. I'll show you the and in just a second. Let me charge this real quick. I'll put somebody's paper up from yesterday and show y'all the and. Okay. Oops. Can I erase that? Are we good with that one? Yes, we're good? Kind of? Alright. Your paper from yesterday. Let me put this up here. I'll cover. Okay. All real numbers at least -4 and at most 6. So this one has the word and. That means I'm going to write it between. So I'm going to write x between what two numbers? So Mason, what's my smallest number?
-4.
So my -4 goes over here, and my biggest number is 6. So remember, when you've got and, you write it between them. When it's or, you use the word or. So it has the words, again, at least. What one did we use for at least? Wasn't that the greater than or equal to? Yeah, and remember they always point that way. And what's at most? 6.
It's less than.
Less than or equal to. So that's what number 5 is on, number 5 on yesterday's paper.
Oh, wait.
Yeah. That's number 5 from yesterday. This is a different sheet.
We wouldn't flip the sign?
No, when you have an and, they both have to point the same direction.
Even if it means different things?
What do you mean?
One is at least and one's at most.
Yeah. But this one's different than today's problem that you just did. Like you're saying at the very least it's -4, at the very most it's 6. So x is between those two numbers. So you leave those signs just like that. Now today's problem is totally different. It has the word or, and it was taking us the opposite direction. It said we were greater than 6 or we were less than -4. It was going that way. Yesterday's problem was and, so we were between the two numbers. Yes?
Do we have to grab those?
On this one, I think it. I can't remember. I think it did say to graph. Before. I don't know. Let me see. I'm looking at the wrong paper. Graph the solution. I'm thinking that we did graph them. Yeah. So we'll go ahead. If I was to graph this, let me put that up here. I would put on my number line, I would put maybe -4 down here. I'm just going to count by 2s because it's a little bit faster. and x is between -4 and 6. They're both closed circles because they're equal to, and x is between. Are we good with that? Okay. All right, now back to today's sheet. So Shay, you got that one? Okay. We're looking at this problem, so let me. Are y'all still writing this? Yes. Okay, I'll stop for just a second.
Oh, there's a new one.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
What one?
That one right there.
No, I haven't worked it out yet. I just moved my paper.
How'd you
This
get
is yesterday's paper. Most of y'all turned it in.
Oh, I was about to say.
I just moved the paper, and now I'm getting ready to do the next one. Sorry. Yeah, that's for. Okay. I know, be careful though. People say if you look out the window for 2 seconds and look back, you're totally lost in this class. That's what they say. Are we good? Everybody's got this down? Yes. Alright, now this is a lot like yesterday, but we're not looking at the word and. See, it's a compound inequality because how many problems am I solving on this one? 2. Does everybody see I've got this problem I'm solving and that problem I'm solving, or that problem. Okay, so I'm going to solve both of them and then I'll graph it together. Okay, and it's got the word or, so pay attention to that. So how do I solve the first one? What am I going to do with that? 2x minus 3. What do I do first? Add 3. That's right. We are going to add 3. I think y'all can probably see this kind of on your paper better. But add 3 to both sides. Does everybody understand that? Kind of. So I'll get 2x is less than -14. Is everybody okay with that part? That's part of the problem. Then what do I do? Divide. Divide by what? 2. So we added our 3, and now the 2's over here. So I'll divide by 2, and it's just a +2. So I'm going to leave that alone. It's x is less than -7. Or, okay, right? Now we're going to do our other problem. That's what makes it a compound. We've got 2 of them. So on this other one, what am I going to do to solve it? I'll rewrite it so I have a little more room. 12x plus 6 is greater than 18. How do I solve that?
-6.
-6. So 12x is greater than 12. Then what do I do?
Divide by 12.
Very good. Divide by 12. And it was positive, so I'll leave it alone. X is greater than 1. Alright. And now, that's my answer, but then it wants me to what?
Graph it.
Graph it. So I'm going to graph it up here because I have a little room. I know y'all get tired of graphing. Y'all, I'm not going to make you graph every problem on your test, okay? But we're practicing.
You say our test is next week?
It's next week, yes. So it should be Thursday. Some people may need to take it Friday. Some people may need to take it Wednesday. All right? It will go on the report card.
Our report card's next week?
Yes, but y'all don't get them until after. Right. So, all right. I'll just start with -7. You do need to know your number line. Okay, and it goes to there. I did enough numbers.
Oh, we're on break after homecoming week?
Yeah, praise the Lord.
I didn't know that.
Yes. That's like a little blessing. Because it's a rough week. Okay, I'll start with the -7. Less than -7. Open circle, and we're going that way. Make sure you shade it a little bit so I know what way you're going. What about greater than 1? What do I do for that one?
Goes open circle.
Yeah, open circle on my 1, and we're going to numbers bigger than 1, so they go that way. So you have to tell me what way you're going. Does this make sense, y'all? You just are solving 2 things one time. I forgot how many problems are on here, but we're moving along. Is anybody? Yeah, I still see some writing. Okay, we're doing good then. yeah, the other half is just kind of weird. This is our last one of solving and graphing. How are we feeling about those? Yes. Solving and graphing. Yes, we're feeling yes. Okay.
Is that invisible paper?
Is it what?
Paper.
I'm about to erase.
Oh, wait.
It's the board. I know it's so confusing. I know, and it looks 3D, like when you put something else underneath it, like it looks like three-dimensional.
I thought that
Over
was
here on my computer.
I thought it was on the white paper and you put that paper above it.
That would be like a transparency or something that they used to have. Okay. On these. This is the problem. I'm actually going to write it on a separate sheet of paper, okay, y'all? So everybody's looking at number 5. And let me write it up here. Sorry, that's my last class. Y'all are not graphing parabolas. Okay. 2x minus 1 is divided by 3 plus 3 less than or equal to negative 4. Or, so we got to solve 2 problems at once. And then I've got this one. 8x minus 2 over 2 minus 1. And then here's my 6 over here. So let's look at this problem. Okay, they gave you a tough one. I need to move a lot of numbers on this one, don't I? Do y'all know what you would move first? Anybody know what you would move first? It's a 3, but which one?
Multiply 3 times 4.
We're not going to move this 3. We're actually going to move the one that's not with the x. Okay, so here's our x over here. So let's move this plus 3. How do we move it?
Minus 3.
Minus 3. Okay? We're going to solve the other one just like it in just a second. Does everybody understand? I'm subtracting that 3 over. Okay? Because it was just kind of over here, so I'm going to move it. So let me bring down this big fraction. And what's negative 4 minus 3?
Negative 7.
Boys, y'all pay attention so you don't get lost. This one's not easy. It's negative 7. Is everybody okay with that? All I did was I moved my 3 over here. Now, what am I going to move? The 3 that's in the denominator. Okay? What's the opposite of dividing by 3? Multiply by 3 to both sides. Okay? So now it's looking a little bit better. 2x minus 1 less than or equal to negative 21. My sign stayed the same. I multiplied by a positive number. Okay? Now how do I solve it? I got 2 more steps. Add 1. Yeah, it says minus 1, so we're going to add 1. And 2x is less than or equal to negative 20. And then my last step, what do I do? Oh, question? We're good? Okay, now I'm dividing by a positive 2, so my sign, again, it just stays the same. And there's that answer. Okay, which you can already start to see some of these answer choices. That's nice. Okay, I can see there's only one answer choice that matches that. But we're going to keep solving. On this one, what do I move? Do y'all need me to stop for a second? I think, are people writing still? Y'all, if I go too fast, y'all have to say, you're going too fast. Y'all will learn. Other classes are quick to fuss at me. I'll give y'all a second though. I still see some writing. What? That's on video. Okay. Now on this one, how am I going to solve it? What am I going to move first? It's just like this problem. The 1. See, my x is over here. What was not attached to it? What's not with it? Minus 1. What's the opposite of minus 1? Add 1. So I'm going to do that to both sides. So over here I get a 7. 8x minus 2 divided by 2. Now what do I do?
You multiply 2.
Multiply by 2. I want to get rid of that denominator. Now I can. So I shall multiply by 2 on both sides. Positive sign. So I just keep my sign the same. 8x minus 2 greater than or equal to 14. Then what? We Add 2.
Add
8x is greater than or equal to 16. Then what? Divide by 8.
2.
Divide by 8.
It's 2.
And x is greater than or equal to 2. Now, what answer choice matches that, y'all, on your paper?
A.
Does everybody see that A is the only one? And they graphed it. So make sure you can understand their graph, okay? And y'all, if anybody's struggling, you can come see me today during 7th period. Or 6th period, because I think so many football and cheer and all these people are leaving. So sorry, those leaving I can't help. But I could help y'all next week. But anybody that's left here, you could come see me for help today, because there won't, especially 6th period, there won't be a lot of people, I don't think. So we can use our time wisely. All right, now we're kind of shifting gears on this last set of problems. I like these. You might not. They're kind of weird again. This would be really good for ACT stuff. And we'll actually see some more of this, I think, in chapter 4 or 5. Okay? We will see this again. Now, what they do is they're using something called interval notation. See how they have a parentheses and they have a bracket? See the difference here? That means something. Parentheses is when you don't include that number. So that means you have an open circle. A bracket means you include that number. So you have a what? Closed circle. That's all they're saying. So when you see the parentheses, this is new, it's different. You're saying, I'm between these two numbers. -9 and what? 3. Okay? I'm between these two numbers. What? It's an open circle at the -9 because of the parentheses. And it's a closed circle at the 3 because of the bracket. Which one matches that?
That's D.
Is that an open circle at -9 and a closed circle at 3? Yes. So it is D. Do we I know it's weird. So again, you might see that on ACT. You'll definitely see this again like on something called domain and range, which we'll get to that later. Okay? So yeah, that one, our answer was D. So let's look at another one. All right, it says x is greater than or equal to -2 and x is less than 2, an interval notation. So y'all, what's my smallest number here?
-2.
-2. Okay, we'll get to our brackets. And what number does it go up to? 2. Does everybody see that? So this is an and. I'm staying between those two numbers. Now, on the -2, is it parentheses or bracket? Look at this right here.
It is bracket.
It's a bracket because of the equal sign. Very good. What about the other one?
It's
parentheses.
It's a parentheses because it doesn't have the equal sign. I know it's weird. Okay, I know it's weird.
Weird. Yeah.
It's easy to get hang of.
It's just they want you to learn how things may be written, like in other math classes or on the ACT. I don't know that I probably have seen this before, maybe like in college. But so everybody's good with this? Okay, it's just one of those things you have to accept it.
Oh, there's an infinite number.
Okay, yeah. So here's my question. We have this little sign called infinity. We're getting to this next. This is the infinity sign. Okay? Infinity goes on and on and on and on and on and on forever and ever. Can you graph that point, infinity? No. So that would be a parentheses around the infinity in a second. Okay? You can't plot a point for infinity. So, negative infinity is also a thing. You can always go that way in the to negatives forever and ever and ever. Okay, so that's those two things. I know this is weird too. So you have negative infinity forever that way, positive infinity forever that way. Oops. Now, let's look at our next problem. Do these have the word or? I'm thinking these probably have the word or. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So ors tend to go in the opposite direction. So they're saying on this one, which one goes from negative infinity to 6, and then from 8 to positive infinity? That's how you would read it. So are these open or closed circles on the 6 and the 8?
Those are open.
They're open circles. So I can already tell my answer. Which one has both open circles? A. But let me finish it. So that's saying that's an open circle and it goes to negative infinity forever. That one's saying it's an open circle at 8 and it goes to positive infinity forever. Do we kind of get that? You just know an open circle or closed circle.
How many is there on this page?
They said there's 10. I think the rest of them are like this. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the last one. Okay. Possibly. Do y'all like these or no?
I do.
Okay. It's. I know it's like mixed feelings. Some people are like, this is easy, and some people are like, it's like a foreign language. Number 9. Oh, and 10. So these, we know they're or, okay? Because I'm assuming they're or because it looks like they're going opposite ways when they're written like this. So this one means it's a, let's see, the best way to say that, because I don't have any equal to. All right. If it's got the negative infinity, it means I'm going that way. Is that less than 3 or greater than 3? Less. So I know my first one says x is less than 3. If it's going to positive infinity, it's going that way. So what does that one mean? X is greater than 6. Okay, and we've got an or. X is less than 3 or x is greater than 6. Y'all, if it's written separate, like it's got the word or. Okay, so easy to tell you what's your answer going to have in it. The word or. So you know it's one of those. You know it's one of these. Do y'all understand that? If they have the word or, your answer is also going to have the word or. So it like gives you half your answer choices already. Okay, so number 9 was what? A. Now what y'all get for number 10? Y'all got D? Okay, yeah, so it's going this way, so it's less than negative 5. That looks like that. It's got the word or, and that one's going that way, so it's greater than 5. So yeah, it is D. Okay? Now, for the rest of, this is it, we're done, right? The rest of class, you're either finishing this sheet, but you shouldn't have to finish it, yesterday's sheet, or you're working on your study guide. Does that sound good? Yes. I want today's sheet. Yes. Let me press pause.